Yo, what's up guys, my name is Hakiii, and in this video we're going to be looking at what different budgets can get you in GTA 5 Online. I watched a video on what $1 million can get you in different countries around the world, and I was like, let's try to apply this to GTA and see what happens. We're going to go from a budget as low as $1 all the way up to a budget of $1 billion and see what that could get you in the game. If you go on to enjoy this video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new so you never miss any more awesome videos like these, and with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. Alright, so starting off from $1. There's only a few little things you can buy for $1 in the game. The first is one snack, so this could be either a little thing to munch on, or you can get a drink, which I think is like a can of Coke, and the different animations for these last like a good 2 or 3 seconds, so it makes sense it costs $1. And then the next one is the telescope on the pier, or I think just the telescopes around the map. You can look through the telescopes for $1, but I think inside of apartments and offices and stuff like that, I think it's free. I don't think you need to pay to look through the telescopes inside of your property. And I guess with a $1 budget, you can also buy the free vehicles in game. So if you don't know, there's a few vehicles in game that are free, like the LG RH8 and also the Duke of Death, and maybe 1 or 2 other vehicles, but you do need to have a social club account or something like that, so you do need to do something for it. But I guess if you still want to include it in this $1 budget, you can, because I mean, they're technically within a $1 budget. They're free. You can say they're in a $0 budget even. You know, making this video right now, I'm actually realizing that you can buy some stuff with $1 in game. I'm actually really surprised, considering most of the stuff that comes out in DLCs costs millions. And then moving up to a $10 budget, it's basically the exact same as a $1 budget. You could just buy times 10 the things that cost $1, so it's basically like $1, just you can buy multiple. Instead of just one snack, you can buy 10 of them. That's basically the only difference. And then with a $100 budget, congratulations, you can now wash your car. You can finally use the car wash in game. It costs a whopping $15 to use the car wash. Not that I know anyone that actually uses the car wash in game, but I guess you can do that with a $100 budget now. And along with that, you can go on the Ferris wheel for $8, so I guess you can actually include that in the $10 budget. It's $8 for the Ferris wheel, $15 for the roller coaster at the pier, and $20 for a movie ticket. So if you want to go for the movies, that's $20. So it looks like you can do a few nice little activities with a $100 budget. Yeah, I guess you can say they're pretty pointless activities, but I guess it's still something you can do in game, and it still is cool to do even though no one really does it nowadays. Moving on to a $1,000 budget, and now we're starting to get some more things here. So you're able to start using phone contact options. For example, you can go off the radar through Lester for $500. You can also reveal players. You can locate a car, a boat, and a helicopter as well for $400. And there probably is a couple other options with Merryweather and a couple of other contacts. You can also start buying ammo in different tints for your weapons, but you're not able to really buy any weapon yet. So you can't really do that without buying the weapon first. And by weapon, I'm referring to guns, because you can actually buy some weapons, but only melee weapons. You can get the broken bottle for $300, the knife for $400, the nightstick for $400, the hammer for $500, and finally the hatchet for $750. So you can start buying some melee weapons here, but in terms of guns, you're gonna have to wait for the next budget, which is the $10,000 budget, and you're able to do a lot of stuff here now. There's a huge difference between 1,000 and 10,000. You're finally able to start buying vehicles besides the free ones we talked about a little bit earlier. You can buy the Rusty Rebel, which is technically the cheapest vehicle besides the free ones. Once again, for $3,000 you can get the Faggio for $5K. Obviously that's the best vehicle in the game, the Faggio. There's a good amount of vehicles you can buy. I'm not gonna name all of them, but some of them are the Rat Loader, the Sanchez motorcycle, the Blazer, which is the 4x4 vehicle, the Rancher XL, and the Stayneer. There's a good amount of motorcycles you can buy. Once again, the Sanchez. You can also buy the Akuma. And in terms of bicycles, you can buy basically all bicycles at this point. The most expensive ones are exactly 10,000. If you're looking for the BMX bicycle, that's only 800, so I guess that's another one we can include in the $1,000 one, but you're basically good to go with all bicycles now. And then in terms of weapons, we have a lot of choices as well. We can buy all throwable weapons now. We can buy a good amount of pistols, like the regular pistol, the combat pistol, even the AP pistol, which is just like an SMG honestly. And speaking of SMGs, we can buy the micro SMG, the machine pistol, which is also considered a machine gun, the regular SMG, and the mini SMG. And this $10,000 budget allows us to buy a lot more melee weapons as well, like the knuckle dusters, the wrench, even the machete, the battle axe as well. So a lot of really cool melee weapons. And we've also gotten to the point where we can now buy one AR, which is just the regular assault rifle, for just over $8,500. Now we're gonna move on to $100,000 budget, which is once again a huge difference from 10,000. It's even a bigger difference than 1,000 to 10k. There's loads of different things we can buy now, and I think it's just gonna go higher and higher. There's loads of different things we can buy now, and I think the difference is just gonna be higher and higher now. Like a million is a super big jump from 100k, and same with 10 and 100 million and so on. You can buy tons more vehicles with the $100,000 budget. You can get the Sultan, you can get the Buccaneer, the Tornado, the Dominator, the Buffalo, the Sand King, the Rat Truck, the Sentinel XS, the Baller, the BF400, the Chameleon, and even the regular Comet. So there's a lot more vehicles you can buy now. I just named some of the more popular ones. You can also start buying some boats, although I don't know many people that buy boats. And you can finally buy garages. You can now buy most of the garages in game, not the popular expensive ones, but a good chunk of garages are within 100,000 bucks. Although the high-end garages are just over 100k, so you're gonna have to wait for the next budget to be able to get those ones. And also we do have a few properties we can now buy. They are low-end ones though, but for under 100k we got Rockford Drive for 80k, Vespucci Boulevard for 87, Boulevard Del Perro for 93k, and then finally St. Vita Street for 99k. I don't really think anyone should buy low-end properties, to be honest. So let's make a big jump to $1 million budget. This is an absolute gigantic jump from 100k. You can buy the highest end properties now besides one, but it's just another version of the same property that they do have for under $1 million, which is the Eclipse Towers penthouses. That's the most expensive apartments, and they do only have one of them for just over $1 million bucks at 1.1 million, but they do have two other ones for 900k and then 985k. So in terms of apartment properties, you can buy pretty much whatever you want. With this budget now, you can buy basically all weapons in the game, including Mark II variants. Although for the Mark II variants, you do need a Mark II like weapon workshop, which you can get that inside of an MOC or maybe like an arcade, something like that. And now you can buy a boatload of vehicles. I think most of the vehicles in game are going to be under $1 million or within $1 million budget basically. Just to name a few, we got stuff like the Camacho, which might be the best off-road vehicle in the game. That's only 345k. You got the Zentorno, the Dominator GTX, the Entity XF, the Sultan RS, the Stinger GT, the Windsor Drop, the 190Z, the LG Retro Custom, the Infernus Classic, the Z-Type, and you can buy all motorcycles in the game besides only a few. For special vehicles, you can buy the Armored Kuruma and the Insurgent. Those are two pretty popular ones. And you can finally buy the first big business slash property of yours, which is the Maze Bank West office for exactly $1 million. So keep in mind that's without all the upgrades afterwards, which you probably should do some since you want to get some garages along with that. But the office itself is exactly $1 million bucks. Let's go into the $10 million budget now. It's getting serious now. Like, this is actual serious money. With this budget, you have a lot of different options for businesses and properties. I'm talking you can buy any of the offices with all the upgrades. You can buy any of the super yachts. You can buy any of the bunkers, the facilities, the warehouses for the offices, the nightclubs, MC clubhouses, hangars, casino penthouse, and pretty much any other property you can think of. Not only can you pick any one you want, but you can probably buy a few of them too, not just one of them. And this budget does include the most expensive vehicles out there. In fact, the most expensive vehicle is exactly $10 million, which is the Gold Jet, the Luxor Deluxe, which is extremely overpriced, but basically along with any business slash property, you can also pick whichever vehicle. This includes the Oppressor Mark II, the Laser, literally anything you can think of. What I'm saying is you got options with this budget. There's some expensive things to be bought at this point, so let's move on to the even more ridiculous budget at $100 million. With a budget like this, I'd imagine you can buy all businesses and all properties in the game. The most expensive versions those are, and you can have a boatload of vehicles along with that. You could probably buy a good amount of aircrafts as well and put them in your hangar. At this point, you should own the best supercars, the best special vehicles. There's just no excuse not to buy whatever you want at this point. And this includes maxing out your garage spaces. So you would have 3 big office garages. You would have every single garage so you can fill it up all the way with your favorite vehicles in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to move on to the ultimate budget of $1 billion with a B. You might think 100 million should be the max, but the reason I'm doing $1 billion is because I searched up how much it costs to buy everything in the game, and it actually costs a whopping $703 million. I'll put a picture of it up on screen, so I guess that is within $1 billion and not 100 million. That is just a ridiculous amount to buy everything in the game. 700 mil. That's basically the only reason I went as far as $1 billion just cause I guess 100 million isn't enough for everything in the game, but it's definitely enough for your favorite things to own. So if you were to buy every single item in the game, it would cost you a whopping 700 million, which I don't even know if that's possible because you can only buy, let's say, one agency, the most expensive one in this case. But if you were to be able to buy everything in the game, so that would mean multiple agencies and multiple offices, you would end up spending 70% of $1 billion. We talked a good amount about properties in this video, so if you want to see the best properties to buy in GTA 5 Online, click the video on screen now. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and peace.